What is up, guys? Holy, LOA On was last night. We stayed up for it and it was worth it. This is the LOA On recap, and I'll scoot over a little bit here. So we have, first of all, we have NRC. This is new, returning, and casual. Okay, that is what that stands for. And then day one, these are the veteran players. All right, these are players like me that have a full roster of, you know, a pretty high level or high eye level characters. And so I thought it'd be good to point out who these buffs or who these changes are actually good for. Who these buffs, we need buffs, boys. And also, guys, one thing to keep in mind is that this is for the KR version of the game. All right, our roadmap is not out yet. I'm gonna do a video over that, trust, don't worry. But our roadmap is always much more specific and better for our region. It has been for the last couple of LOA Ons. Okay, guys, AGS always cooks for us around LOA On time, so I'm not worried at all. So before you start hitting the doom comments, just think about this is for KR, it's not for our version, but it is a glimpse at what we could have in the future, at least a rendition of it. They have a new region, which in my opinion is good for everyone. Don't forget, there's also gonna come more things with it, like more enlightenment points. So if you are a more casual player, new player, returning player, whatever it is, it'll be easier to get enlightenment points. It'll be easier to get those things and level up your arc passive. And that's a good thing for everyone, not just for veterans, but for new, returning, and casual players as well, and just people who like the story. It looks pretty cool. It is the home of the Ayayas. So it's very like lights and, you know, boisterous, and it looks pretty cool. So it's not bad. It's a decent looking region, I thought. The Beastmaster class is also coming out. It is a female Ayaya. I was originally, when I saw this, I was like, I don't know, but they started showing the skill sets. Apparently you can transform into a bear and a fox, and you also have moves or skills that involve a like spirit bear and spirit fox. It looks very interesting. I'm not going to be replacing anyone on my main roster with it, but I am definitely going to play when it comes out. It looks pretty cool. Very over the top animation wise, like the other Ayaya classes. So I'm looking forward to that. Now we get a new raid. It's Theamine the Second. No, it's not really Theamine the Second. Imagine though if we got a full new Theamine raid. I would kind of like that. However, it is Theamine, featuring Theamine in Gate 1. It's a 3-gate raid, and then the other 2 gates, Gate 2 and Gate 3, are like Guardian-esque in how they look. So I'm not sure. But this is more for the day ones. This is a 1700, the first 1700 eye level raid for hard mode. I believe normal was 1690. I believe they said it might have been 1680, but I cannot confirm on that. But yeah, it is a new 3-gate raid. This isn't really for the new returning or casual player base at this point. This is more for the veterans. Of course, it is something to strive for maybe, but it's not going to release as a new returning or casual player friendly event. Now, in terms of the Kazros raid, Kazros has been announced. They said it's going to be the hardest raid yet, which it's going to be harder than Theamine, and there's going to be a first clear race, which, guys, I'm not going to lie, this was insanely fun to watch when Theamine came out. It was so sick. It builds so much hype around the game because players, or a lot of players, like a challenging raid, myself included. I want a challenging raid. However, I think that the only really difficult portion, if they want to make a very hard raid, I think that they need to make hard mode really hard. If that's what they want to do, they want to make it super challenging, that's fine, but only make the hard mode super challenging. Make normal mode very much more casual, so that even the normal group or the normal raid difficulty people that are going in to do that are satisfied, and it's much more casual for them to have more fun around the raid still and enjoy it just in a much different light. Okay, in my opinion, that's how it should be. Or even make 3 difficulties for that raid. If you're going to make it very hard, make like a first mode, right? Like Theamine the First, it was extremely hard, and then a hard mode and a normal mode. That way everyone can enjoy it and really get the most out of experiencing the raid and how they would like to. Okay, but this is definitely more of a day one type of benefit here. We get a new Guardian that's obviously it's necessary for the continued eye level gain in the game. There's a strike raid. This is a limited time raid. It looks pretty cool. There is a 4 and 8 man compatibility. So you can go in with 4 people, matchmake it. He said you can literally go in, do matchmaking. It's much more toned down, I think. He said the way he described it is much more casual. You can just go in and do it. And with the 8 man raid though, he said you might have to prog a little bit because I think he's meaning that's a little bit more difficult. I'm not sure what the rewards are going to be depending from the 4 man to the 8 man. I'm not sure if they're going to be the same or whatever, who knows, but it's a 4 man activity that's different from a normal raid. That's fantastic. This is good. This is good for everyone. Next up, we have Arc Passive for everyone. These changes are coming in December. They're going to be in our update too. I 100% know this. It is going to happen. If it doesn't, then I'm going to be big saddies and I'm probably going to disappear for a while because I've been saying it's going to come out on the 18th. So GG's guys. But yeah, this is coming for everyone. This is good for everyone because a lot of day one players don't have like 1660s with full arc passive. I don't even have full arc passive either on all of my characters quite yet. I think I get them next week and I still have one that's a little bit behind. So this is good for everyone, especially the new returning and casual players. It makes the game much more intuitive across all the leveling boundaries in terms of going from like 1540 to 1580 to 1620 to tier 4. It's just much more intuitive. So this is a great change. Then we have an Elixir and Transcendence nerf. Finally, KR has been complaining enough for them to do something about Elixirs and Transcendence. Transcendence looks literally like a Monopoly board game where you just RNG roll like how many spaces you move forward across the stage and you just boom, 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 and then it's done, right? It looks very simple. It looks like a board game. It's exactly how it should have been on release. Bro, it is crazy that has not been put out yet. So I'm glad it's done. Elixir, apparently they're getting rid of the system where you build power for like your super moves for blue and purple. I think they said they're getting rid of it. They're making the system much more straightforward in terms of the options that you get to choose. So we'll see how they changed it whenever it hits our version. Hopefully, guys, very hopefully, Cope. Actually, I'm not even gonna say Cope. I'm hoping that this is gonna come to us on the 18th, okay? In just a few days. I'm very excited for this, and I'm gonna be testing it out on Elixir's day 1. I'm gonna make a video over it, okay? Actually testing it out, same with Trans. So I'm kind of curious to see how this is gonna work. Now, this is good more for the new returning casual players. Most of the day 1 veterans already have their 40 set, already have Transcendence nerfs. Some don't, or already have their Elixirs and Transcendence completed, sorry. Like my entire roster, it's already finished, unfortunately. So I don't get to take advantage of it. But I do have some alt rosters that I'm going to experiment with this to see if it truly is a worthy nerf. Solo, Thamine, and Echidna. 100% this is more for the new returning casuals. This is fantastic. Thank goodness, man. And on top of that, we get better solo raid rewards for those of you who just really enjoy doing solo raids. This is fantastic. This is huge news for new returning casual players. I know y'all have been asking for this for a while. I'm also a fan of it too, not only because it helps those people out that like to solo raid, but having solo raids gives a good introduction and confidence building activity for those people who are not feeling good about going into a group Thamine or a group Echidna yet, and allows them to experience a raid at least on a fundamental level so that they understand what's happening in the raid on a decent stage. That way they build some confidence, they go into a group now, they feel better, and they know some of the patterns, they know some of the bigger mechs, they know generally how the raid works, and they feel better about it. I think it's fantastic. I have a lot of people that tell me, oh yeah, you know, I want to jump in, but I just feel like I don't want to wipe everyone and waste everyone's time and this and that. And that's a shame. So this is good. We have solo modes, so they can do that now. They can build the confidence and then eventually get into the group modes. Also, with this solo raids, we have in-raid guides. They are actually even going as far as pinging where you need to be for safe zones, things like that. It's finally happening. It is finally happening. Holy moly. So huge W's for new returning casual players. This is so big. In-game explanations. Finally, here we go. All right, also, let's scroll down just a little bit. We get enhanced presets. So this is pretty cool. You get like a preset per raid, it sounded like they were saying. So you can put like battle items in there for specific raids, which is good. It's kind of a pain in the butt to always be moving your battle items around. So it is kind of nice that you can just preset it. It's a good change. Combat UI changes, they're minimalizing the buffs on your bar. So for example, like Heavenly Blessings gives you a few buffs. It gives you an offensive buff and defensive buffs, and previously it was all split up into individual buffs on your buff bar. So you have like 4 or 3 or whatever it is, different buffs down there. Now it's just the Heavenly Blessing buff. It's just one down there. So that's good. It's gonna clean up the bar. Also stacking numbers for skills, especially, I know you Drizzle players missed a win. I know you Drizzle players have unlimited ticks of damage. You don't actually know how much you're doing per attack. So now you have the option so that each tick for an attack, it builds the number up. And then when it's done attacking, it shows you that final number of how much damage that skill did, which is very cool. I've been talking about this as well. That's a worthy change because it's going to make those classes that do a lot of little damage actually feel really good. So that's a cool UI change. Card catalog additions, they are adding on the default amount of cards that you can have. So people that spent blue crystals to add more cards into their collection or more card spaces, they're refunding some of those. We're getting new hair and posture changes for some of the female models, or the posture changes for like how long their necks were or their battle stances. I think Scrapper, maybe War Dancer. I believe Scrapper for sure though. It's a much more neutral stance. She's not as like wide base, like, you know, she's a little bit more like, it's a little more feminine, I guess. So I think those are good changes for sure. And then new hairstyles as well. We're also getting a Makoko Express to 1640 with all the other goodies, right? We get trans level 3, we get 40 set elixirs, we get all that stuff, the same stuff. But we get LOS and LWC 18 and 24. Guys, the man said, I think it's finally appropriate. It's time. It's finally time. Bruh, it's been time for like 3 years. It is crazy how long this took for this to happen specifically, but it is happening now. I guess finally enough people complained about it, enough of the existing player base complained about it, but it's changing, thank goodness. Hopefully we also get this with our Beastmaster release. I don't know when it's releasing. It's releasing on the 8th of January for KR, the Beastmaster class. Hopefully it releases on like the 15th for us. That would be sick. Maybe it's in February. I'm not sure. We will find out. I'm thinking we're going to get a huge December update, and then Brell's coming in January, and then we'll get a new class in February. That's what I think, but we'll see. Then in advanced honing books. Okay, so this is like the current honing books that increase your odds. It's kind of like that, but for advanced honing, you can think. So now there's another way to make advanced honing a little bit cheaper. And I'm not sure how that's going to affect our version in the West. I think that there's just not many people complaining about advanced honing in KR. So they didn't really focus on changing the system or improving it or whatever it is. I know that's a kind of a letdown for a lot of people, but you never know. They could be starting to hand out a lot of these books in our version, so it will 100% reduce the cost and make it a much better experience overall. So we'll see how that plays out for our version. Next, we got Transcendence cost reduced, which is good. There weren't any specifics, I don't think, though. Same thing with honing costs. I'm not sure up to what eye level. I don't think that it's said. So we'll see what happens on that. But both of these are good for new, returning, and casual players as well. And along with these guys, as you can see, this is good for the whole community, these changes here. And then we got the solo mode vendor improvements. Now you can get array haws, the red prime array haws, the tier 3 array haws in the solo mode vendor. And I think they said shards as well, but the array haws, This is the biggest pain point for someone leveling with solo or doing solo raids and building alts and things like that is the array hawk cost. It's not the material cost. It is the freaking array hawk cost. It costs infinite. So this is so good that this change is here. Now, also, there were raid gold changes and nerfs that are coming to KR. This shouldn't be coming to the West. I can't imagine why it would be, because we don't even have Braille yet, and KR has had Braille for months. So I just can't see why this would change for us. Now, we'll see on the roadmap, which again, guys, I'm gonna make a video about it. I don't know how much caffeine I've had in the last 24 hours, a lot. And possibly the biggest announcement for last. We are getting female Paladin, boys. Let's go! I'm too hyped for this. I am condensing my yells because I would blow my own eardrums out. The sound goes from the mic into my headphones, so I can't yell too loud. Also, you know, I don't want to be waking anyone up. Guys, female effing Paladin. Let's freaking go! Guys, I've been saying I want a female Paladin or a female Gun Lancer. I've been saying it for months. Everyone has been like, bruh, that's not gonna happen, bruh. It is happening. Now, KR is getting this in the summer. I would love to see a little global class release action. That would be freaking insane. Now, this is a very, very possible breaker delete angle. All right, I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoy my breaker, but female Paladin, if they could only expand the character slots to 7. I am ready. I'm getting my body ready. I am getting my materials ready. I am stacking materials starting now. All right, it is happening. I'm going to go bonanza. I'm so excited for this female Paladin. Also, it seemed that he was mentioning that this class could be the first support and slash DPS class, whether it's transitioning between both and it has both viable builds, like very good viable builds, or it's like a hybrid class. I'm not sure, but this is very, very exciting. Of course, I'm excited. I don't know if y'all saw my Twitter post. I popped off. It was insane when they announced this. I'm so hyped, guys. But in terms of LOA ON, these are the big changes, and my overall thoughts before I saw female Paladin, okay, I'm gonna be very honest, guys. Before we saw female Paladin, I was thinking to myself, dude, this is a very, very hype LOA ON for the new returning and casual player base. It's very good. I would say like an 8 out of 10, 8 to 9 out of 10. All these changes, look at this column, guys. Look at this left column. There's so many good changes for this percentage of the player base. And guess what? They're a big percentage of the player base. Now, when we look at the right side, how many check marks? I think that there are a lot of good changes for the veteran players and the more established players as well, but they weren't as hype as the new returning casual player base changes, okay? I think in this LOA ON, they had a lot of improving to do, a lot of QOL, a lot of makeover stuff that they just had to change. It was necessary, and that's fine, because I still think overall, especially after female Paladin was announced, I think this LOA ON was a solid 7 to 8 out of 10. I really do. I think this was a great LOA ON, and which makes me even more excited for our roadmap, because if KR's LOA ON was good, our roadmap is going to cook. All right, I'm just saying, I have a lot of faith in the AGS team. They've been making insane changes and events, completely new events that KR hasn't even had. Like, our Ignite event was insane. All right, they're giving out codes for us. I don't even think they're giving out codes for KR players, guys, but they're giving out codes for us. Royal Crystal packs, like, dude, they're going in for us. All right, so our roadmap is gonna be sick. I already know it. I can't wait to review it and go over it on. Maybe it'll be on stream. Maybe I'll make a YouTube video out of it first. It really depends on when it comes out. But guys, that is everything for this video. Let me know what you think about LOA On, and make sure and come check me out on Twitch. Hang out, raid with us, go over this stuff, have a blast, guys. It was a freaking party last night. It was too much fun. But that is everything. I'll see you on the next video, guys. Bye bye.